so I was going to ask you guys about opening day. Baseball
Yippee!
started today, and you see all the pride around the country, everyone wearing their Yankees caps, their Dodgers caps, whatever, the Old English D. But I feel like it was almost a sign for what the Tiger season is going to be, that opening day in Detroit got rained out today.
Yeah, I mean, that's like one of the biggest holidays in the state of Michigan, especially in Detroit, and it's rained out, and it might be the sign of things to come, for sure.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, this was probably going to be one of, there's going to be some series, obviously, that'll be bring in some fans, but opening day usually is, at least opening weekend, one of the only times that Comerica might sell out this season, and it's just like it gets rained out, so that's not a good sign. And then my biggest thing is, the roster isn't that great this year. There's not a whole lot of hope going in the season, but Gardenhire comes in as the manager, so he's a proven manager, but he names Jordan Zimmerman as the opening day starter when you have Michael Fulmer there. And I mean, maybe Zimmerman's showing he'll how to promise this spring training and everything, but for him to name Zimmerman the opening day starter over Fulmer, it just made me not even want to watch opening day. I don't know about you guys.
In the research I did, I saw they lost like 7 straight in spring training,
right,
to end it. But honestly, is Maglio Ordonez still around, or is he retired?
No, I think he's done.
That was like the last few years I was.
He's done. Yeah, he's been out for a couple of years. Yes.
It's just crazy to think. I mean, we talk about the three generations on this podcast, and so Ted, you've been watching the Tigers for 40, 50 years, whatever. I've been watching my whole life too. But I was thinking about it today, Jared. Basically, for your whole lifetime, I mean, basically since 2003, the Tigers signed Pudge and Carlos Guillen in 2004,
right?
And basically from then on, the Tigers have been one of the best teams in the American League. They've had some seasons that they didn't make the playoffs, but they've always been one of the best teams in the American League. Won a bunch of division titles, went to the World Series a few times. Cabrera, Triple Crown, a bunch of Cy Youngs, all this stuff. So for the past 14, 15 years, the Tigers have been great. This is the first time in a while, in some kids and Tigers fans' generation, their whole life, that the Tigers haven't been any good. So, how long is this rebuilding process going to take to you guys? I mean, is there any hope? How long is it going to take?
It's going to be a probably 4 or 5 year process before they get even respectable. My hope this year is they don't get blown out consistently. Hopefully they stay in games and they're fairly close. The over-under is 67.5. I mean, I think they're going to be lucky to get 63 and stay away from that 100-loss season. What do you guys think?
You know what could turn it all around?
What's that? Sister Jean?
No. Close.
Okay.
Did you see that Darren Ravel tweeted that Marlins man, the Tigers
offered
him to be Tigers man?
Right.
If we get Marlins man, I'll probably watch every game. If he's sitting behind home plate in that bright orange outfit, he's must-watch TV. Must-watch.
We might need that. I know, Matt, I saw a tweet of yours that was along the lines that it's too bad the Tigers didn't win a World Series in this last decade, and that's a fact. I mean, they had enough talent there, especially when they had Verlander and Scherzer back-to-back. I mean, they should have won a World Series. Yeah, and Price, right.
Yeah, I mean, at one point, their starting rotation was Verlander, Scherzer, Price, and Porcello, who ended up winning a Cy Young.
Porcello.
I mean, and they had Cabrera, they had Prince Fielder, they had Victor Martinez when he was actually doing well.
Kind of in his
prime. I mean, they had so much talent in the last 10 years, mix in a bunch of other guys who they've had in and out, that it really is a shame that they didn't get one World Series because, I mean, to have the kind of talent, especially all around, the pitching staff, and it seems like the bullpen was always something that they didn't quite have the best guys in the bullpen, but it's a shame because now, like we just said, we're looking at, I don't know, it might be a few years, 4 or 5 years until they're actually legit contenders again. So it does kind of suck. And, this is the first year since I moved away from Michigan that I actually canceled my my MLB.TV subscription because I was like, I can't justify paying a few $100 to watch the Tigers when they're maybe going to lose 100 games. So that was kind of depressing when I canceled that. But I guess it's one of those things. Like you can look back and it does suck they didn't win a World Series, but they were good for a long time, and we got to watch a lot of playoff baseball and a couple World Series. So I guess I guess we can hang our hats on that.
Yeah, and it might be kind of fun to go to the ballpark and watch a couple games, live. I think they're going to be. I think under Gardenhire, I think he's a good manager for a younger team. And if they decide to really go youth, maybe trade Fulmer. I'm hearing some of that. Maybe somewhere in the season, get some even younger people, younger pitchers. You got to just go for broke and really go young. I think at this point and play hard.
The one thing I have liked for. I'm the millennial or whatever. I guess we're not big baseball fans. It's sort of the stereotype. I'm personally not a baseball fan. Yeah. Did you guys see the Mookie Betts in-game interview when he was in the outfield?
I did see that.
That's what baseball needs.
A little colorfulness.
Yeah. Just why not? That's what baseball is made for. Just put a mic on him. He can talk in between pitches. It's just. That's what they need to do.
100% agree. They've done that a couple times. Well, spring training, but I feel like they did it in the All-Star game a couple times.
They have.
And it was great. They put a mic on Bryce Harper, I remember, and it was awesome. I definitely agree with that.
Well, I think we're going to see baseball make a lot of changes as we move forward. As, like you said, Jared, the millennials, they got to get them interested in baseball. I mean, is it a little too slow paced?
Millennials.
I think the biggest thing, just speaking of that real quick, these games last so long. I mean, that's why a lot of younger fans are starting to move towards soccer and other sports that move a little quicker, because you can watch the first couple innings, take a nap for an hour or two, and still catch the end of the game. I mean, baseball is so slow. I mean, if you're a purist and you love baseball, it's cool and everything, but they need to figure out a way to speed the game up.
Too many relief pitchers, too many pitching changes in my mind. I don't see it changing, but that's really slowed the game down big time, Well, let's just hope the Tigers can, like I say, be somewhat respectable. Before we wrap the baseball segment, guys, what do you think? 67.5 is the over/under. What do you think? Over/under? What do you got?
I think they might go over, but just barely. I don't think they're going to go much over. Their roster is just terrible, and it's just crazy to think that you got a roster with a guy like Miguel Cabrera, maybe the best hitter of this generation on it, and they're going to let him waste away. It's kind of like my guy Kobe Bryant. I know I am a Lakers fan, Jared. It's kind of like the roster that Kobe had the last few years of his career. I feel like that's going to be Miguel Cabrera.
Give me the under. Give me the under.
Unfortunately, I'm with you there. I'm going to say 60. 60 wins. And,
Thanks.
Yeah, and they're going to play hard, but they just don't have the team. The pitching, a lot of unproven players, and it's going to be a long one down there at the Copa.
When you got, real quick, I was going to point this out. You got a guy like Victor Martinez, who was one of the best hitters for a long time, but I don't know if you guys have ever seen the stats on his base running. He statistically is the worst base runner in the history of Major League Baseball. He's that guy that hits one to the gap to left center, right center, and it's just a long single.
Yep.
And you got a guy like that that's supposed to be Miguel Cabrera's protection. It's a shame that it kind of frustrates me when I talk about it, that they never won a World Series. But who knows? Maybe you can go hang out with Paws at Copa and watch some games.
Go get 'em, Tigers.